Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the social media world now. Zohreen.
Yeah, so we're about to see this image. It's been shared hundreds of thousands of times.
Yes.
I think you've seen it already. It's something that happens nearly every day in Syria, but this time it was captured on camera. Take a look. This video shows the rescue of 5-year-old Omran Daknish from this heavily damaged home in Aleppo, Syria. The child is placed in an ambulance and looking shocked and stunned. No tears, though. Opposition activists released it after a series of deadly Russian airstrike bombings that Russia denies. At age 5, you guys, this war is all this kid has ever known. He suffered head wounds, luckily no brain injury, and has been discharged from the hospital, but of course, with no home to go to. So a lot of people reacting on social media. Bea says, will you remember his dusty face, apathetic eyes, name, and suffering tomorrow? How many Omran Daknishes will we allow? Then it says, choices for Syrian children. On the left it says, if you stay, with an image of Omran, and the words, if you leave, on the right, with an image of Aylan Kurdi, the drowned Syrian boy who was found on the beach in Turkey. I mean, it's just heartbreaking. Keith Walker posts a picture that shows a wider view of what we've already seen. It says Omran Daknish and his sister, his 2 other siblings, and parents were all pulled out alive. And of course, you see his sister right over there, looking just as shocked and stunned as the boy. Okay, now moving on to another story. There's a lot of praise for Officer Steve Dunham this morning. He's the Franklin, Ohio cop who found a 7-year-old boy trying to sell his teddy bear so he could buy food. Dunham took the child to Subway and fed him, and now the kind-hearted cop is getting marriage offers and messages of support. I couldn't find any of those proposals on Twitter, but Marion does say this. She says, God bless Officer Steve Dunham. Nice work. And Noemi says, and the award for the worst mother goes to Tammy Bethel. That's the boy's mother. The boy's parents were charged with child endangerment. All 5 kids have been removed from the home. And you guys, police say that home was actually filled with bugs, alcohol bottles, cat urine. So it's apparently it's quite an incredible scene. Yeah. And the mother reacted on social media, and she was wondering why the cops didn't show a pantry apparently filled with cans of food, and said that her kids were not neglected. So.
Yet he was selling a teddy bear for food. Right. Yeah, that says it all.
God, those 2 stories just break my heart.
Right.
I mean.
Yeah, the Syrian boy. Ugh.
Yeah, reminds you how privileged.
Yeah.
So totally.
Thank you so much, Zohreen.
Zohreen, Tony really wants to know the location of the naked Trump statue because on his way home. Tony, you want to visit?
No. I'm just saying it's in my hood. So, and I had no idea
it's on
it was
Hollywood
there.
Boulevard. Do you know where Bar Covell is?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Alani River? It's near that area, on that block. You're welcome. So many people actually visiting the statue just so they could post it on social media.
Right,
So
of course.
interesting. It's actually based on that tale, the Emperor's New Clothes.
Makes sense, yeah.
Right? The title's kind of similar too, but I'm going to spare you guys the title. You can look it up if you want. But just when you thought this election couldn't get any stranger, it does. Naked statues of the Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, like this one in Los Feliz, have popped up in San Francisco, Seattle, New York, and Cleveland. An art collective known as In Decline is behind the artwork. For the most part, people are getting a good laugh out of the statue. Of course, a lot of people are very offended as well. And to protect the version on Hollywood Boulevard, employees from the nearby art gallery moved it off a street corner onto their property. So lots of people, of course, on social media reacting to this, right? Rosa says, make fun of Trump for his policies and his choices, not for his body. Pretty mad at all the body shaming I'm seeing today regarding the statues. On the other hand, someone tweeted, I just walked by the naked statue of Donald Trump at Union Square. Whoever did it made his hands way too big. New York Parks Department put out this statement, though. They say New York Parks stands firmly against unpermitted erection in city parks, no matter how small. That's being a little bit cheeky there.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Tweet me at Zohreen. Would love to hear your guys' reactions. I also tweeted a video of the start to finish process of making this. The artist used 300 pounds of clay and silicone to make this whole thing. You can see here, brushing every little detail. I also tweeted a video of the start to finish process of making this. The artist used 300 pounds of clay and silicone to make this whole thing. You can see here, brushing every little detail. It's really interesting. And I know how much you like Pokemon. People were tweeting
This is the next thing.
that it has become Pokestops, that some of the statues have become Pokestops.
All right.
I'm not going to be
Yeah. Speaking of heartbreaking and tough, that image of that little boy in Aleppo, Syria, just You can't even say enough about that.
It's so tough to look at. It's been shared thousands of times, and it's something that happens nearly every day in Syria, these strikes. But this time, it was captured on camera. Take a look at this boy. This video shows the rescue of 5-year-old Omran Daknish from his heavily damaged home in Aleppo, Syria. This child is placed in an ambulance looking shocked and stunned. In a second, you'll see him. No tears, though. Opposition activists released it after a series of deadly Russian airstrikes, a bombing that Russia, of course, denies. At age 5, you guys, this war is all this kid has ever known. He suffered head wounds, but no brain injury, and has been discharged from the hospital, of course, with no home to go back to. So a lot of people have been tweeting about this. Mohamed Lola tweeted, 2 photos, 1 horrible reality, and posts, when you stay on the left, the image of Omran Daknish, and then when you leave, that's the image on the right of Aylan Kurdi washing up on that beach in Turkey. So both options, I mean, just it's unbelievable.
Wow,
Lisa tweeted,
look at that one.
I know, Lisa tweeted this one. She says, Syrians are sharing this photo featuring 5-year-old Omran Daknish asking why the world hasn't acted in Aleppo. And it has his image cropped out and placed between Obama and Putin. That one I've seen actually quite a few times. If there is any good news, it's that this little boy, all his siblings are okay. Well, they're alive.
They're alive, yeah.
And his parents are alive as well.
Right. His mother and sister, I think, are in critical condition at the hospital, but hopefully they will be okay. As you pointed out, the fact that he sees this is all he's known. He's only 5, perhaps explains why he's not crying.
Well,
he's in shock,
because
this is normal.
To him, this is what life is about. This is the only kind of life he's known.
And that's what's so heartbreaking.
Yeah,
and
it is
there's
heartbreaking.
thousands of Omans every day in Syria who go through this. We just happen to showcase this
And
picture.
so few journalists. I mean, that's why this image is, this person who took the photo is so important, because there's so few of us,
And
you know,
to think
out there.
that in some ways, I mean, how horrible is it to think that in some ways he's actually lucky?
Right.
How horrible is that?
I know.
terrible.
I know. It's the reality of it
Yeah.
all. Thank you,
Thanks,
Zohreen.
Zohreen. All right, so now questions are being raised about possible unequal treatment over the whole swimmer scandal and gymnast Gabby Douglas.
Yeah.
And you're here to discuss that.
We have heard so much on social media. We've been talking so much about Gabby Douglas and Ryan Lochte, right? But some people feel the way that many people have been talking about them is really different and unfair. So just to refresh your memory, Ryan Lochte and 3 swimmers were drunk. They vandalized a gas station bathroom and then were forced to turn over about $55 to armed security guards. So the IOC said no other apologies from him or other athletes are needed. We have to understand these kids came here to have fun. Let's give these kids a break. And now to Gabby Douglas, you'll remember she didn't put her hand over her heart during the American national anthem. The IOC didn't comment on that, but okay, let's be honest. Why would they, right? But many people on social media said the 20-year-old was being unpatriotic. So lots of people on social media reacting to these 2 very different kind of scenarios. Grant, he basically tweets, he says, why does a 32-year-old rich white guy get to be an adolescent and black teenagers don't? #Lochtegate. In response, Ash says, come to the trailer parks in Mississippi and Arkansas and see how privileged those white folks are. There was a huge chain that went on about this. You guys can go online and read it. After Kamal Nyanji says, people calling Lochte an idiot, you think if it was a black athlete, he'd just be called an idiot? Being called an idiot is a privilege. Someone replied, no, he is being called an idiot because he's an idiot. Stop race baiting. So what do you guys think? Tweet us at FoxLA or at Zohreen.
Wow.
That's interesting, though. It is an
interesting
discussion. And I bet a lot of people are also saying one doesn't have anything to do
with the
Apple
other.
and oranges.
Yeah, apple and oranges.
All right,
All right,
Zohreen.
thanks, Zohreen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. 9:42 right now.
Coming up, Candy.